Okay. All right. I'm live. All right. People, I was speaking a little bit about Tyndale, talking about how the Britain came over here, and I think he tried to colonize everything. You know, how did we get in the condition that we're in? You think about Israel over in the Middle East, which we know, in according based upon what we see, is the chosen people, and uh, they came over here, and everything was colonized. Who who had the Bible translated into English? Now, when you look at the Bible written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, um, it was Greek, meaning that it had to be written in Greek because the Israelites learned how they learned a different language because their language was stolen from them. So they had to learn, the Bible had to be translated into Greek because the Latin language comes from the Roman language. And the Latins, they took the some of the they copied some of the things, manuscripts from the Bible, because you know, Catholic Church, they had their own Bible. And I think it was said about 66 books. They took some from some of the manuscripts from the Bible, but they do have the originals, and they are called the Apocryphy. What's that? They got what they call the Compact Bible Dictionary. You see what I'm saying? And some of the manuscripts were script and used and turned around. Like, let me give you an example. They took, y'all remember the Apostle Peter, right? He was an Israelite, and what he did when the Most High said, see, they took his words out of context. You see what I'm saying? To meaning when they says, God said, "You are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church," meaning that that's where the Roman Catholics misinterpreted that about Peter. They thinking that Peter was the rock, but he was referring to Peter. He said, "Thou art Peter." He said, "You are Peter," and he said, "Upon this rock I will build my church." But they misinterpreted by saying, "Thou art Peter," and they referred the cornerstone to Peter. They referred to Peter being the cornerstone, and that's how they. The word Latin simply means a dead language. That's a Roman language, and because they had so much power and influence, and that was their whole purpose, is to divide and to conquer and to remove people away from their real culture. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting on someone to come back. Okay. The Tyndale Bible generally refers to the body of the biblical translators by William Tyndale. In 1494 and 1536, Tyndale's Bible is credited with being the first English translation to work directly from Hebrew to work directly from the Hebrew and Greek texts. Tyndale did not complete his Old Testament translation. The first printed English translation of the whole Bible was produced by Mrs. Coverdale in 1535, using Tyndale's work together with his own translation from Latin, Vulgate, or German text. Yeah. Old English, Middle English, early modern, and modern English. Early modern English Bible translators are between about 1500 and 1800, the period of the early modern English. This, the first major period of Bible translation into English. The English language began with the introduction of Tyndale Bible. The first completed edited of his New Testament was in 1526. William Tyndale used the Greek and the Hebrew text of the New Testament and the Old Testament, in addition to Jerome's Latin translation. Okay, so this is how they, you know what I'm saying, they translated the Bible into English so that our people can understand. Translation. The Latin translation was the first translator to use the printing, pressing, this enabling the distributing of several thousand copies of his New Testament translation throughout the England, and Tyndale did not complete his Old Testament translation. The first printed English translation of the whole Bible was produced by the Masses Coverdale in 1535, using Tyndale's work together with his own translations from the Latin Vulgate or German text. After much scholarly debate, it is concluded that this was the printed interwarp and the, oh, I don't even know what that is, the last word, given the dates as August the 4th, October the 4th of October, 1535. This first edited was adopted by Coverdale for his first authorities, for his first authorized version, the first authorized version, known as the Great Bible of 1539. Other early printed versions were the Geneva Bible in 1560. Notable for being the first Bible divided into the verses, and when negated the Bible, negated the divine right of kings, the Bishop Bible in 1568, which was an attempt by Elizabeth to create a new authorized version, and the authorized King James Version in 1611. Yeah, so that's when the Bible was written. And it was written in 1611. It was completed in 1604. So this is how. Okay, now let me see if we can get. Let's see here. The other Bible was, the Roman Bible was done in 1582. This is when the Roman Catholic Church also was in power, and they took and they translated the Bible into English. I mean, you know, translated. I mean, you know, it's going back to Tyndale and all those brothers based upon what I was reading at first. You know what I'm saying? The first printed English translation of the whole Bible was produced by the Masses Coverdale in 1535, using Tyndale's work together with his own translations from the Latin Vulgate of German texts. After much scholarly debate, it is concluded that this was printed. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes on. It talks about in 1535, the first edited was adopted by de Coverdale for his first authorized version known as the Great Bible. Of 1539, other early printed versions were all and so on and so forth. So I guess that's all I can say for the time being right now. And I'll come back and I will talk later. Peace and love to my people of color.